Okay, we're gonna have a look at the three sisters, or rather in this case the five sisters. We are doing an update now on how it's going, and actually it's going really well. There was one little setback, but it's no big deal. We'll talk about that in a second. But generally speaking, I'm pretty happy on how things have developed, and we'll take a look at that now. Now the first thing I like is that of course everything has grown much bigger, twice the size as it was before. But what I also think that is really great is of course everything has germinated. So we have actually peas growing here now, we have runner beans growing there, and it's kind of working fine. So I'm really happy about that. I know that these are going to, if they're starting now, the runner beans are starting to make their little climbers and the peas, but that's still going to take 2 weeks. So this sunflower can even grow a bit bigger and a bit stronger. I have to feed this sunflower now. There's a deficiency in nitrogen in the soil, so I really need to feed heavily just to make sure that they are going to grow well enough as well. So I didn't add any compost to the thing, which I should have probably done. The pumpkin is also doing well, but there was a little bit of a setback, and that was we had 2 days in a row we had heavy hail, and that really blasted the leaves out of it, and that probably stunned them a bit as well. They weren't very happy about it, and even the kind of pumpkins and courgettes are only now recovering and starting to grow as well. So that's pretty much the update here. I've added another sister. Let's take a look at what she looks like. Okay, so what I've done now is I've planted some achacha. That's the small guys there. I'll talk about them now in a sec. And next to the sweet corn. But first let me talk about the actual sweet corn itself. And what we have here is I planted the sweet corn way too small. That's been actually the problem here. I planted it when it was about that big. I just didn't have space in the mini cold frame or heated cold frame, and what I did is then of course I planted it too soon. If you plant it actually much later and let it actually grow to about this size already, and it only takes about maybe a week or so, then it will be actually much bigger and way better at coping with the runner beans as well. So because the runner beans will actually, if I had planted runner beans here, they'd already be this height, and I don't think the maize would have been strong enough to get tall enough in time. But at the very later in the season, actually sweet corn actually has a tendency to really shoot up. So once it's actually this size, you will see now in the next few weeks it'll actually go much taller. But what I've done instead then is I planted a thing called achacha, and that is a type of cucumber, and cucumber is very good at holding on to a bit of a thicker branch than the pea. It has these kind of tentacles that are more like springs, and they can really hook onto things. So I'm hoping that these three, well actually four achacha, I might actually plant some of them somewhere else where I only have one coming up, but I'm hoping that this will actually work as well. So this whole area here is going to be a whole mass of sunflowers, pumpkins, runner beans, peas, achacha and sweet corn as well. Now the first thing I want to say is if you enjoyed the video, then do please share this video as well and like it up. Even better if you could even share the first video, because that would kind of help me a lot, and you can find it on my channel page, which you can click on the Work with Nature logo somewhere down here and you should get to the channel page. Yeah, so I will make another video in about a week's time. It's going to be about containers and balconies and stuff like that with my wife. And so I see you then. Thanks for watching. In a minute. But overall I'm pretty happy that my car is rolling away. Oh shit.